So good morning. Today, we will have a discussion on certain provisions of Revenue Memorandum Circular 2020-2026 issued by uh, Commissioner Mendoza in relation to the filing of the 2025 annual income tax returns of taxpayers. But today, we will focus only on self-employed professionals. And I will be focusing my discussion on how do we use BIR Form 7101 MS, and this one applies to micro and small taxpayers. So ano po bang meron dito, no? So expectations for our discussion will cover very quickly what are the classification of individual taxpayers, how do we tax the income of individual taxpayers, and then the filing of returns, the different kinds of ITR, and how do we pay the tax correspondingly. Okay, so let's start with classification. So, ano pong meron dito, no? Classification of taxpayers. Under EOPT, enacted last 2024, taxpayers were classified. When I say taxpayers, include individual or non-individual taxpayers, no? They're classified for tax administration. So, meron tayong tinatawag na micro taxpayers whose gross sales do not exceed 3 million. Tapos, small micro taxpayer yun, and we have small. The threshold is between 3 million to less than 20 million. And of course, we have medium and large taxpayers. Threshold is shown already in the screen. Okay, so ang focus natin dito sa dalawa kasi maliliit lang itong mga to. Now, let's go to taxation of individual taxpayers, no? What are the things that we need to consider in computing income tax? So, unang-una, kilalanin muna natin ang mga individual taxpayers. So, sino ba itong mga to, no? Uh, there are three types. Ang isang taxpayer, individual, can be a purely compensation income earner. Sa madaling salita, this person is only an employee, meaning ang kanyang only source of income would come from employment. Kaya nga purely compensation income earner. Now we have purely self-employed or professional income, which means ito solely relying on business income. Unlike here, solely relying on compensation income. And we have the last one is the mixed, meaning meron na empleyado na siya, tapos meron pa siyang negosyo. Okay? So, who is a compensation income earner? Ayan, nabanggit na po natin, the source of income would come from an employer-employee relationship, meaning, again, empleyado lang ito. When this taxpayer files the return, ito ang kanyang return na ginagamit. Sorry. Now, the other one is self-employed. Ang self-employed, the income would come from contract of service kasi he is a proprietor or independent contractor. Kaya nga self-employed because he is employing himself, no? Now, a job order person, no, professional, is also a self-employed for purposes of classification. Pag sinabing job order, this one, let's say, he works in the government, pero he has no item, but still he was employed as a job order. Ang classification niyan is self-employed for taxation purposes, meaning he is not an employee of the government. And of course, we have professionals, no? So pag sinabing professional, this can be a person certified by professional body. It can be a doctor, a lawyer, engineer, architect, CPA, etc. Or pati mga non-licensed, non-certified professionals, no? Like halimbawa consultants, like chefs, okay, sa mga management, na promotional talent, sa mga instructors who have no employer-employee relationship, sa mga bookkeepers, freelancers, okay, marami pa po ito, no? Basta they are basically in the practice of a profession. Okay? Now, a mixed income earner on the other hand is a taxpayer who earns, no, derives income from employment empleyado na, tapos meron pa siyang business income. So, that's a mixed income earner. Now, how do we tax the income of taxpayers, no? So, kapag ikaw ay compensation income earner, we only use the graduated tax in computing your income. Okay, the basis of course is taxable compensation. Kapag naman ikaw ay self-employed, again, when we say self-employed, you can be under contract of service or job order or a professional. Now, if you are self-employed, you can opt 8% as your method of taxation of your income. Okay? Tapos, meron pang alternative, no? Ito talaga ang default. Graduated tax ka. At the same time, you're supposed to pay 3% percentage tax. So, for self-employed, for business income nila, merong option, either graduated or 8%. Sa mixed income earner naman, of course, dalawa yung income nito. Compensation is subject to graduated tax only, while the business income can be subjected to either graduated tax or 8% option. Okay? Now, in computing the income tax, we have to consider the method of taxation. Remember the rule on irrevocability, which means there are requirements before you can use 8% preferential or commuted tax. Okay? Ano muna yung qualification? Sino ba yung pwede rito? Tignan nyo yung inyong gross sales. Or if there are returns, allowances, and discounts, the net, and other non-operating income. So, kapag ikaw ay lumampas na ng 3 million, disqualified ka na. Okay? When you use 8% as a method of taxation of your income, you are qualified for a 250,000 deduction. Bakit ganon? Very simple. Because once you use 8%, hindi mo gagamitin graduated tax table. Kung hindi mo gagamitin graduated tax table, then how can you avail the 250,000 pesos exemption on income, no? Yung first bracket or first tier ng graduated tax table natin. Hey, wala. So, binigyan ka na lang ng outright deduction of 250,000. Now, there are taxpayers who are disqualified to use 8%. Sino nga ito? Again, I've mentioned already, if you exceeded the 3 million threshold, okay, disqualified ka na. Which means, if you cannot use 8%, graduated tax ka dapat. Okay? Sino pa yung mga specific taxpayers, no? Disqualified by law to use the 8%. Kapag ikaw ay VAT registered, kahit hindi ka lampas ng 3 million, disqualified ka na. If you are subject to other percentage tax, like ikaw ba ay common carrier, ikaw ba ay engaged into financing, ikaw ba ay subject sa amusement taxes, ikaw ba ay subject sa gross receipts tax. So yun ang mga tinatawag ng other percentage taxes, no? If you are subject to OPT, then you are also disqualified to use 8%. If you are exempt from taxation, like a business, barangay micro business enterprise, no? Related to your activity, you're not supposed to use 8% because you are again exempted. And then if you are a partner in a general professional partnership, you are also disqualified. Okay? Another factor in considering to consider in computing income tax, tignan din natin yung ating method of deduction. So when we say deduction, ito yung binabawas natin sa tinatawag nating gross income. So we have itemized and optional, dalawa yan. Okay, dalawa ang method of deduction. So when we say itemized, essentially, lahat ng gastos natin, lahat ng mga yan, expenses natin, ina-account natin, kaya nga itemized siya. Optional standard deduction, on the other hand, is merely an option. It is in lieu of the itemized deduction. So in OSD, meron din tayong rules to consider when using optional standard deduction. Okay? Also, just like in 8%, no, there is rule on irrevocability. Ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng rule on irrevocability? Before you can use 8%, you have to check your first quarter income tax return or percentage tax return kung sakasakali, or yung iyong certificate of registration, form 1901 when you registered with the BIR in 2025. Kasi baka mamaya ang pinili mo doon graduated tax. Kung graduated tax ang pinili mo doon, dito sa first quarter na ITR or percentage tax or yung registration form mo, BIR form 1901, if you opted, you chose graduated tax, disqualified ka sa 8%. If you opted 8%, 8% lang dapat yung gagamitin mo. Okay? Tignan mo kung anong pinili mo diyan. Same with itemized deduction. Tignan mo yung first quarter ITR natin o kaya yung first quarter income tax return natin. Tignan mo. Okay, ano bang pinili mong method of deduction diyan? Kung nag-graduated ka, so therefore you're disqualified to use 8%, no? So, kung nag-graduated ka, anong pinili mong method of deduction? Itemized deduction ba or optional standard deduction? Kasi kung anong pinili mo doon, yun ang gagamitin natin sa ating pagpa-file ng annual income tax return for 2025 because what you have chosen is irrevocable. Okay? Remember also the requirement of audited financial statements, no? Kapag ikaw ay hindi naman lalampas ng 3 million ang gross sales mo, kung ang pinili mo ay 8% as method of deduction, kung pinili mo OSD as method of deduction, no? At you are not required to actually submit an audited financial statements. Okay, so kapag ikaw ay lumampas ng 3 million, mandatory yung audited financial statements, which means you may need a certified public accountant to basically certify your financial statements. Okay? Now, ano ba yung gross income, no? Kapag sinabing gross income, marami po itong ibig sabihin, no? These are actually the different types of gross income enumerated under the tax code, 1 to 11 to. Pero this list is not exclusive, which means there are other items of gross income a taxpayer may have earned. So therefore, kapag merong mga gross income na ganito, we are supposed to consolidate all of this when we file our ITR. I-report kasi. Bakit? Kasi lahat ito ay mga taxable na income. Let's say, number one, no? You are employed. Okay, yung ating compensation is an item of gross income. Sir, are we required to file the return? Are we required to report the compensation? Depende. Kapag ikaw ay substituted filer, you're not required to file income tax return. Pero if you're disqualified from substituted filing, then you are required. Kaya nga siya item of gross income. Number two, gross income from trade or business, essentially, is what we call gross profit in accounting. So meaning, kapag ikaw ay merong gross sales, we have to deduct the corresponding cost of sales. The gross profit is the gross income required to be reported. Mamaya makikita natin yung annual income tax return, so you can have a glimpse, no? Ano ba itong gross income na to or gross profit? Number three, if you have like made a disposal of properties, no, and you derived gain from those disposition, aba, yung gain na yan taxable. Okay? Lalong-lalo na kung ang asset ay ordinary asset. Kung yan ay capital asset, of course, yung capital gain natin dyan, meron pa tayong i-consider kapag individual tayo, yung tinatawag na holding period. But I'm not going to delve into that because more on filing tayo ngayon. If you earned interest income, if you earned rents, you earned active royalties, you were able to like earn dividends. Ito yung mga hindi subjected sa final tax, no? Not subjected to final tax. Mga not passive ito. Okay? Not subjected to final tax, not subjected to final tax. Basta hindi subjected sa final tax, as a rule, you're supposed to report it in your ITR because, again, it is an item of gross income. Yung prices dito, example, nanalo ka ng isang premyo, no? 10,000 or below yan, you are an individual taxpayer. As a rule, well, you're supposed to report the income because, again, it is an item of gross income and therefore it's taxable. Okay? Ito, taxable pension yan. And all other, no? Yung other dito, income derived from illegal source, no? Kung gusto mong i-declare yung mga ninakaw mo, pwede mong gawin yan dyan. Okay? Because it's really taxable under our existing rule. Okay? Now, Ano nga yung method of deduction? Puwedeng itemized, puwedeng optional standard deduction. 'Pag itemized, iniisa-isa natin lahat 'yan. 'Pag optional, merely an option. It is in lieu of the itemized deduction. Kaya better go back to your first quarterly income tax return para makita natin kung ano bang pinili mo doon. Okay. So, very quickly, what are the rules on itemized deduction, 'no? Sino ba ang puwedeng mag-claim ng mga deductions? So, as a rule, yung mga merong negosyo, those, taxpayers engaged in trade or business can claim deductions. Okay. Eto, mag-focus lang tayo sa tatlo kung saka-sakali, non-resident alien engaged, meron din namang ano 'yan, ah, most likely somebody is taking care of the business for that, 'no? Kaya I'm not, going to delve into that, focus lang natin yung maliliit dito, okay. So, itong mga 'to na merong negosyo can claim deductions, okay. Ito, wala silang deduction. Now, in claiming deduction sa accounting, medyo simple lang, 'no. So long as you, made an expense, you paid for it, you have proof, we record it in the books of accounts. But for taxation purposes, there are things that we need to comply, no? Yung binili mo, yung expense mo, para maging deductible yan, dapat ordinary yan. Meaning ng ordinary, it is usual, customary, this is common in the practice of profession or in our trade or business. Kailangan ang ating binili, ang ating expense ay necessary. Kinakailangan talaga siya. Kailangan actually incurred yan. Okay? Dapat may connection sa ating business or practice of profession. The amount must be reasonable. And of course, you have to have proof. Kasi even if the expense ay binayaran natin pero there is no corresponding invoice or any adequate record to support the expense, then there is a risk of disallowance by the BIR pag tayo ay na-audit. Okay? Meron ding mga expenses na hindi natin pwedeng ibawas sa ating gross income. And what are these? Again, the focus essentially would be for individual taxpayers only, no? So, yung mga personal expenses natin, no? Yung mga family expenses, grocery natin, living expenses, pati yung kuryente, tubig, ilaw sa bahay, yung mga renta sa bahay and all, yung mga illegal payments, okay. Meron kang nilakad na papel, nagbigay ka ng pasasalamat, pampabilis, pampadulas, bawal 'yan, 'no? Hindi natin 'yan, allowed, 'no, to be deducted against our income. And also, payments to related parties. Halimbawa, nangutang ka sa iyong, magulang or kapatid, pagkatapos merong interest 'yon, the interest is non-deductible. So yan po yung mga, basis. In addition, kapag ang isang expense i-relate natin dito, if the expense is not ordinary, it is not necessary, there's no connection to the trade or business, it's not reasonable, there's no proof, non-deductible din yan. Okay? So, kung iki-claim mo pa rin yan, there's a risk of disallowance by the BIR. Now, ito po yung ating mga itemized deductions under the tax code. Makikita mo itong lahat ng 'to sa section 34 of the tax code, 'no. So, yung mga expenses natin like salaries and wages, meron tayong empleyado, yung mga gastos natin, gasolina, pamasahe, okay, whether domestic or international, 'no, here and abroad, pwede 'yan. Basta susundin mo lang itong requisites and claiming expenses. Yung mga rents and utilities, mga ginastos natin, 'no, representation expense, ito yung mga entertainment, amusement, recreation natin for the development of our, business. And remember, it is subject to limitation. Okay, kung tayo ay nangutang hindi sa mga, related party, the interest expenses deductible, especially kung yan ay related sa business. Example, bumili ka ng sasakyan mo, nangutang ka lang, merong interest, so yung interest puwedeng ibawas yan. Yung mga binayaran nating mga, local taxes like, local business taxes, mayor's permit, yung sedula, rehistro ng sasakyan, okay. Tapos yung mga, documentary stamp tax naman kung national tax 'yan, okay, deductible 'yan. Yung income tax na binayaran natin non-deductible po 'yan. Yung mga withholding taxes non-deductible, estate donors tax non-deductible. Okay? Yung mga losses na meron tayong proof, not supported, not paid out of an insurance, deductible yan. Yung mga bad debt, hindi na natin makolekta, pero merong requisites yan. Yung mga depreciation ng ating mga sasakyan, ng ating building, ng ating leasehold improvements, machinery and equipment, pwede yan. Kung tayo ay nag-donate, no, we can also claim that as a deduction. Okay? Research and development, etc. Now, meron pa po tayong tinatawag na mga deductions na pwede nating ibawas. And these are other deductions, no? Ang tawag din dito, mga ordinary or allowable itemized deductions. Itong lahat ng to, regular allowable itemized deduction. Regular po itong lahat to, or ordinary. Parehas lang po nito. Pero ang pinanggalingan nito ay galing sa special law. Example, if you are a qualified taxpayer, meaning you are engaged in trade or business, pagkatapos merong bumiling senior citizen sa'yo, PWD, athlete, mga solo parents, okay? And yung mga binili nila are qualified for goods and services na merong discount. So kapag yung discount na binigay mo sa kanila, itong mga to ay deduction from gross income. Meaning, pwede nating ibawas yan sa ating gross profit or gross income na tinatawag. Okay? And then we have special additional itemized deductions. Galing din po ito sa special law. Okay? So example ng special additional itemized deduction, if you employ a senior citizen or PWD, meron tayong special additional deduction. Okay, 15% sa senior citizen, tapos 25% sa persons with disability, okay, based on certain criteria. Okay, now, how do we apply the computation using itemized deduction? Magsisimula po tayo sa gross sales. Now, whether you are a seller of goods or seller of service, start with the gross sales. Ngayon, kung meron tayong direct costs, no? Kung ikaw ay nagbebenta ng goods, yung cost of sales mo. Kung ikaw naman ay seller of service, yung cost of service mo. Mga direct cost lang to. And then, pag binawas natin yan, we get the gross income. In accounting, we call this gross profit. Okay? And then, you can deduct the itemized deductions. Ito yung lahat ng mga gastos mo na related sa trade, na ordinary, na necessary, na meron kang proof, na may connected sa business mo. Ilista mo lahat yan dyan. Ibawas natin. And then, you get now the taxable income. Pag nakuha na natin yung taxable income at dahil ikaw ay itemized deduction, gagamitin natin ngayon ang graduated tax table. Okay, ito po yung graduated tax table. So how do we use this? So this is the basis your taxable income. So how much is that? 400,000. So ngayon tignan natin yung bracket. Nandito ka sa bracket na yan. Okay? Your income is over 250,000. Lampas yan ng 250,000 pero hindi lampas ng 400,000. So how do we tax that? Yung first 200,000 is zero. 250 is 0. Tapos, yung excess. Okay? Magkano yung excess niyan? 150,000. Yung excess is subject to 15%. Okay? So, kung i-compute natin yan, kukompute ko lang dahil wala akong lista, wala akong calcu. Okay? 150,000 times 0.15, ang tax neto ay 22,500. So your income tax due now would be 22,500. Okay, this is how we use the graduated tax table applying the itemized deduction as a method of deduction. Okay? Now, ano nga yung rule regarding use of optional standard deduction? Kailangan pinili mo siya sa first quarter ITR para maging pwede siya. Okay? And remember, by the way, no, the basis of the optional standard deduction is 40% of gross sales. Kung magkano yung gross sales natin, i-multiply lang natin ng 40%, yun na kagad yun. But before we can apply that, again, we have to signify, we should have signified to use the OSD as our method of deduction in our first quarter ITR. Okay? or initial return kung sakasakaling nag-register tayo on the second or third quarter, kung anong pinili mo doon, yun ang method of deduction mo. Kasi papaano po kung itemize ang pinili namin doon? Bawal ka dito. Dito tayo, yung nasa unahan. Okay, yung lahat ng yan, diyan ka itemize ka pag yun ang pinili mo. Pero kapag ang pinili na natin ay OSD, pwede na tayo dito. Again, kapag pinili natin whether itemize or OSD dun sa first quarter ITR, irrevocable yan. So which means kung anong ginamit natin na method of deduction sa first quarter ITR, yun din ang gagamitin natin sa ating annual. Hindi pwedeng baguhin. Okay? If you opted for OSD, I mentioned already, you are not required to submit unaudited financial statements in your income tax return. Okay? Bakit? Administrative feasibility ang tawag dyan. And also, you may keep records only pertaining to sales. Okay? So, how do we apply this? So, whether, individual taxpayer ka, no? Again, the focus only of our discussion for today would be the individual taxpayers, specifically micro and small, no? So, you were able to make sales of 1 million. Wala kang cost na pwedeng ibawas dyan. So, ngayon, yung 40% ng gross sales mo, okay, yun ang gagamitin natin. I-multiply mo lang siya dyan, yun na kaagad ang optional standard deduction natin. So, pag binawas natin ang deduction sa ating sales, okay, taxable income na kaagad yan. So, kung taxable income natin, 600,000, gamitin na natin ang graduated tax table. So, dito tayo papasok kung sakasakali. Kasi ang sales natin, ang taxable income natin is over 400,000. Lampas ng 400,000 ng 600,000. So, ang tax ng 400,000 is 22,500. 22,500. Ayun. Tapos, yung excess daw, plus kasi. Plus 20% of the excess of 400. Magkano yung excess of 400? 200,000. Ito yung tinatawag nating excess. Okay, 20 times 20% yan. So, 40,000 yan. So, ang total income tax due natin using this table would be 62,500. Ito yung ating tax due. Yan na ba yung babayaran? Depende. Kung meron tayong mga tax credits, ibawas natin. Okay? Now, we are here at this juncture on the filing of returns. Ang filing natin mode, pwedeng electronic, okay? Pwedeng EBIR forms, electronic din to. Ito yung EBIR forms package na dina-download natin. So, merong offline, merong online, and then we have manual. Kaya natin pinag-uusapan ang manual ngayon kasi we will be using a pre-printed form. And this is allowed in specific cases. So ngayon, meron tayong RMC na sinasabi, pinapayagan ng ating mahal na commissioner that we can use manually a certain BIR form, and that is 1701 MS. Kasi kung electronic tayo, pwede natin gamitin to, electronic BIR forms, yung EBIR forms package ang gagamitin natin. Automatic computation doon. Okay, so ito po yan, no? Kung halimbawa gagamitin natin tong electronic BIR forms, pupunta ka lang sa BIR website, www.bir.gov.ph. Pagkatapos, pumunta ka doon sa e-services, ayan, may bilog na. I-click mo lang yan, pag-click mo na yan, ang lalabas ito. So, ang gagawin mo, hanapin mo lang yung EBIR forms. I-click mo lang yan, tapos, ayun, download na tayo. Okay? Pag dinownload mo na yan, i-click mo lang yung merong logo ng BIR. Input lang natin yung ating TIN, yung ating RDO code, yung line of business na makikita mo sa iyong BIR Certificate of Registration. Ilagay ang iyong pangalan, last name muna, first name, middle name. Bakit mo ginagawa ito? Kasi every time that you will input your TIN, automatic mag-a-appear na yung information. Okay? Ilagay mo rin ang registered address mo. Dapat parehas yan ang nasa COR mo. Ilagay mo rin yung zip code, i-google mo lang yan. Indicate your contact number, and your email address. Bakit importante ito? Kasi dito mo matatanggap sa iyong email address na ilalagay dyan, basta valid yan, yung tax return receipt confirmation ng BIR kapag sinubmit mo siya online. So, after all of that, puntahan mo lang, okay, yung drop-down menu na yan, pindutin mo. So, lalabas, tapos click mo lang, fill up, no? Lalabas ito. So, ngayon, kung gusto mong gumamit ng electronic, ayun, ito. 17, sorry, ito pala yan. Itong dalawa na yan, ayan. 1701A, sino yung pwedeng gumamit niyan? Ito yung mga nag-8% or nag-OSD. Ito yung ano po ha, hindi pa yung MS to ha. Yung 1701 version 2018 naman, ito yung annual ITR na gumamit ng graduated tax na itemized din. Ayan. Okay, so kung gusto mong electronic ang filing mo, eto yan. I-click mo lang yung fill up, pagkatapos fill up mo lang siya. Madali dito sapagkat kapag mali ang entry mo or kulang yung entry mo, there will be a prompt. Sasabihin sa'yo, provide information under number blah blah. Auto-compute dito. Kaya madali rin po ito. Okay? So, I'm not going to discuss this further, no? Kasi nga, ang gusto kong ipakita sa inyo, yung use of the 1701 MS na wala pa po dito sa system ni BIR. Okay, so what are the different types of annual income tax returns for individual taxpayers and who are required to file, no? So, kapag 1700, ito ay return ng mga purely compensation income earner. So, pang-empleyado lang ito. Okay? So, deadline is the same, April 15 po ito, no? After the close of the taxable year, which is 2025. Yan ang ano natin ngayon. Ang 1701 naman ay ginagamit ng mga mixed income earner, estates and trust. So pag sinabing mixed income earner, kaya tayo nagsimula kanina, no? Kinilala natin ito. Sino nga yung mixed income earner? Meron na siyang business income, empleyado pa siya. Compensation income earner. Kaya mixed income earner yan. So ito yung gagamitin niyang return 1701. Okay, deadline is April 15 also. Now, 1701A, eto yan. Sino ang pwedeng gumamit nito? Purely business or professional income. Ito yung purely self-employed. Okay? This return shall be used only by those taxpayers who availed OSD as their method of deduction or those who availed 8% preferential or flat income tax rate. Okay, so yan ang gagamitin mo, OSD ka or nag-8% ka, 1701A. Yung kanin. So therefore, kung hindi ka 1701A, 1701 ka lang. Okay? Yung 1701 ha, mixed income earner. Yung 1701A, purely business income to. Okay, self-employed to, purely self-employed yan. Now, eto yung bago na wala pa sa BIR portal. Okay? The 1701 MS applies to micro or small taxpayers. Sino nga ito? Ito yung gross sales ay hindi lalampas ng 3 million. Okay, less than. Ito naman, 3 million ito pero hindi lalampas ng 20 million. So, this is an alternative form. Actually, ito na dapat ang form na gagamitin natin. It so happen na hindi pa siya available sa BIR system. Kaya anong sabi ni BIR? Pwede raw natin gamitin ang 1701, pwede natin gamitin ang 1701A, at pwede rin natin gamitin ang 1701MS pero manual filing. Yung 1701 at saka 1701A electronic using EBIR forms. Okay? So, sino ang gagamit nito? Ulit, micro lang or small taxpayers. Sir, pwede po ba kahit 8% ako, gamitin din to? Oo. Pwede bang gamitin to kung sakasakali OSD ka? Oo. Pwede bang gamitin to kung sakasakali graduated tax ka? Oo. Basta hindi ka lalampas ng 20 million na sales. Qualified ka dito. Okay? Now, tanong. Let's have some knowledge checks here, no? Si Nicanor isang empleyado. So, in addition to his salary, he earned 50,000 gain. Nung nagbenta siya ng motorsiklo, kumita siya. Anong form ang gagamitin niya? Titignan nyo ang kanyang classification. Siya ba ay merong negosyo? Wala, empleyado lang daw siya eh. Pero meron siyang other income na tinatawag. Other income yan, other income. Okay? So, negosyante ba siya? Hindi. So, hindi yan mag-a-apply. Bakit? Kasi hindi siya negosyante eh. Ito lang ang sa empleyado. So, the return to be used is 1,700. Ito for corporation po yan, non-individual taxpayer. Okay? Another knowledge check, no? Si Nicanor A. Nanbat, ang gross sales lang niya 1 million. Okay? Ang pinili daw niya, graduated tax na method of deduction. Anong form ang kanyang gagamitin? Tignan po natin. Ideally, since ang gross sales niya ay hindi lampas ng 3 million, micro siya, iyan ang gagamitin. Pero ngayon, in the Revenue Memorandum Circular issued by Commissioner, by our good Commissioner, ang sabi niya, Commissioner, pwede mo pa rin gamitin yan, okay, kung sakasakali. Okay, sir, bakit yung 1701A? Bakit hindi ko binanggit? Kasi 8% to o kaya OSD. Graduated tax to tama. Clear? Parang gano'n yan. Pero pag nag-OSD siya, pwede niyang gamitin yan kung sakasakali. Ano pa? Itong si Nicanor Nanbat, ang gross sales niya, 1 million. Pero pinili 8%. Anong form ang gagamitin? Aba, sabi natin, ito dapat ang gagamitin. But since this one is not available yet in the BIR portal, pwede pa rin niyang gamitin ang 1701A sa ngayon. Okay? So, ayan ang mga katanungan. Now, tingnan naman natin to. Si Nicanor pinili yung 8% sa 2025. In December, pumaldo, lumampas ng 3 million. So therefore, tatandaan mo yung rule. If a taxpayer who opted 8% exceeds the 3 million threshold, disqualified na siya rito. Anong sabi ko sa iyo kanina? Kapag disqualified siya dyan, graduated siya, itemized. So anong gagawin natin? Ang dapat niyang gamitin, ideally 1701 MS. Pero pwede niyang gamitin ito. Hindi na siya pwede rito. Okay, kasi nga disqualified siya sa 8%. Okay? Now, ang gross sales naman nitong taxpayer na ito ay 25 million. Medyo malaki-laki. Anong form ang gagamitin? Syempre, since lampas na siya ng 20 million, yung MS hindi na pwede. Hindi pwede ito kasi pang-employee lang yan. Ito naman, pang 8% yan o kaya OSD. So, kung OSD ang pinili niya, pwede yung 1701A. Pero kung hindi, halimbawa, walang first quarter ITR, ibig sabihin, graduated yan. Default po yan, itemized deduction, 1701 tayo. Okay? Now, si Nicanor ay self-employed. Hindi siya nakapag-file ng first quarter ITR. Pwede pang mag-OSD? Ang sabi ko kanina, hindi pwede. Kasi kailangan piliin siya sa first quarter ITR. Okay? So, the answer here is he cannot use the OSD sapagkat default is itemized deduction. Okay? Now, anong sabi? 1701A is not yet available online. Can the taxpayer use Form 1701 and 1701A? The answer is yes. Now, ano ba yung differences? Okay, pag-usapan natin. Kapag ginamit mo ang MS, ano ang pro, 2 pages only lang yan. Ang con naman, mga kapatid, ayun nga lang, magma-manual filing tayo. And this is prone to error. Especially yung computation, lalong-lalo na kung hindi ka familiar sa paggamit niyan. While the BIR Form 1701 or 1701A, ang pro niyan can be filed online. So which means, anong meron dyan? Yung error sa computation, hindi yan malabong mangyari yan. Kasi auto-compute Yun nga lang, ang problema, when you use 1701 or 1701A, you provide other unnecessary information. Bakit? Kasi ito is comprised of 4 pages. Okay. Yung old rule natin meron pang reconciliation ng book income at saka tax income diyan. Meron pang itemized ng mga deductions diyan. O anong meron diyan? O di you're providing more information to the BIR. Unlike here, since 2 pages lang yan, yung mga importanteng data lang talaga ang nilalagay natin. Okay? So ngayon, filing of return using BIR form 1701AM at 1701MS. Okay. Let's have some illustrations here. Okay, halimbawa, ang taxpayer na ito, individual, opted for itemized deduction, meaning yan ang pinili niya sa kanyang first quarter ITR or hindi siya pumili. Okay, so matic, itemized deduction siya and this taxpayer is supposed to use the graduated tax table. Okay? So what are the facts and assumptions? Halimbawa, ang monthly professional fee neto o kaya ang sales niya is 50,000. Okay? So self-employed tayo rito ha. Tapos, yung company na pinagre-render niya ng service, nagkakaltas ng 10% expanded withholding tax at nagbibigay sa kanya ng tax credit certificate. So there is proof of tax credit. Remember, any withholding made by the payer on your income is your tax credit. Kaya yung mga income mo kinaltasan, kunin mo yung Form 2307 sa mga nagkaltas sa'yo. Okay, and let's just say, since you are under itemized deduction, ikaw ay nagtatago ng mga invoices ng mga pinamili mo, yung mga valid. And let's just assume na 50% lang yan. Okay, 50% of the time in your purchases or expenses. Okay, so tignan natin. So kung 50,000 every month ka, so 150 in every quarter. So total 600,000 tayo. Since tayo ay individual practitioner, normally wala po tayong cost of service. Okay, pero it's possible magkaroon din tayo. Let's just say na wala tayong cost of service, no? So our gross income would be 150,000 per quarter and total 600,000 for the annual. Tandaan nyo, wala pong fourth quarter dito ha, quarterly ha, walang fourth quarter. Now, ang expenses kalahati, yan ang assumption natin. Yan ang binanggit dito. Kalahati ng ating mga kinikita, yun ang nagagastos natin. So ngayon, pag binawas natin ang ating gastos, taxable income kaagad yan. So ang total niyan in a year, 300,000. Okay? So ngayon, sa first quarter, 75,000 gagamitin natin graduated tax table, hindi lampas ng 250,000, wala kang binayaran. Sa second quarter, i-accumulate natin yung first quarter mo. Ang total niyan, 150, hindi lampas ng 250,000, kaya wala kang babayaran. Okay, sa third quarter, hindi lang ito yung third quarter mo, tapos ito yung second at saka yung first, ito total natin yan, cumulative, ito yung total taxable income mo for the first 3 quarters, gamitin ang graduated tax table, hindi pa rin lumampas ng 250,000, so wala kang binayaran. Pero tandaan mo, nung first quarter, kinaltasan ka ng 15,000 ng, well, company na nag-engage sa'yo ng service mo. Saan galing yung 15,000 na yan? Doon sa bawat 50,000, ayun, na binayad sa'yo, kinaltasan ka ng 10%. So, ang total na kinaltas sa'yo in a quarter times 10%, 15,000. Tax credit po natin yan. So, kung tax credit natin to, tax due is zero, tax credit, meron tayong overpayment na tinatawag sa first quarter. Ganon din sa second quarter, ganon din sa third quarter. So, tatandaan mo, ito ay tax credit natin. Every quarter, kinakaltasan tayo ng 10%. No? So, yung buo, nakaltasan tayo ng 10%, 60,000. Assuming, of course, the payer is compliant. Talagang nagkakaltas siya. Okay, ngayon, punta tayo sa annual. Dito tayo, dito. So total 50,000 per month times 12, ang annual gross sales natin 600,000. Assumption, we have no cost, so total gross income would be 600. 50% ang nagagastos, so 300,000 ang ating taxable income. Okay? Kung 300,000 ang ating taxable income, gamitin mo ngayon ang graduated tax table. So kapag ginamit mo yung graduated tax table, 300,000 ang income mo. Yung 250,000, exempt yan. So yung 50,000 times 15%. So 7,500 ang income tax due mo. So ngayon, kinaltasan ka ng payor ng kliyente mo ng 10% doon sa binayad niya sa'yo. Tax credit mo yan. So lumalabas, meron tayong overpayment na 52,500. Ngayon, paano natin ito ililipat sa BIR Form 1701MS? O, napakasimple lang. Ito yung ating return. Ang gagawin mo lang, ida-download mo lang to, i-search mo lang to, i-click mo yan, tapos ah pwede na nating sulatan pagkatapos mong i-print. Or, ang sabi ni Commissioner ng BIR, no, pwede tayong pumunta sa RDO, meron silang pre-printed ng return na to at doon natin sulatan. Okay, so how do we use this? Very simple lang. Tignan mo, enter all required information in capital letters. So, dapat capital letter ang pagsusulat mo. Kailangan black ink. Okay, pabayaan nyo na po ako na red ang gagamitin ko ngayon kasi para makita ninyo yung aking mga sinusulat. Tapos, mark applicable boxes with an X. So, susundin natin ang requirement. Huwag kang gagamit ng ibang kulay. Yung mga box, huwag mong tsetsekan. Kailangan capital letter lang tayo. Okay? Ang ating mga returns are easy to use. Merong mga numbers, yung mga information. Ayan o, numbered po ang mga yan. Kaya tapos sabihin kung plus or minus. O di ngayon, sagutin natin. For the year, aba, month at saka year. O di 12, 2025 tayo. Ganun lang kasimple. Amended return? Tinatanong ka ng return. Amended ba yan? Kung first time mong magpa-file ng return, edi no ang i-ekisan mo. Huwag mong tsetsekan. Bakit? X nga eh. Paano sir kung nakapag-file na ako last week tapos mali pala? Edi pwede ka mag-file na ulit at ang isasagot mo na sa number 2, yes na kasi amended return. Ito original return, ang unang-unang return na pina-file natin. Okay, ngayon, number 3, ang tanong, short period return? Kung ikaw ay nagsimula mula January 1 hanggang December 31, no. Pero if you registered, let's say, on February or August or last December, naghabol ka, hindi mo nabuo yung tanong, ay yung taon, de short period return yan. Yes ka ngayon. Okay? Civil status, Diyos ko po, ilagay mo lang dyan. Kung single ka, single. If married, you are filing jointly, natural, hindi na yan applicable kung sakasakali sa'yo. Okay? Kung married ka, halimbawa, kasama mo bang magfa-file yung asawa mo? O edi, jointly ba kayo? O edi, click mo yung jointly. Separate ba kayo? O edi, click mo lang yan. Kung wala naman daw spouse has no income, dito tayo. So, kung single ka, ayan, dyan tayo. Okay? O, tapos part 1, taxpayer filer and spouse information. Okay? TIN. Edi ilagay mo lang yung TIN mo. O, halimbawa, ito yung TIN mo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, RDO code. Anong RDO ka pa? R028 ka ba? Kung Novaliches ka, etc. So, taxpayer's name, last name, first name, suffix kung meron. De, isulat mo lang. Juan de la Cruz na lang. Juan de la Cruz na lang sulat natin. Okay. Juan de la Cruz. Ilagay lang natin dyan. De la Cruz. De la Cruz, Juan. Di ko alam kung anong middle initial ni Juan. G na lang. Parang Gudani, pinsang kami. Ilagay mo dyan yung email address mo. abc@gmail.com. Hmm. Okay, tapos contact number, ilagay mo lang 0917-143-4459. Ninulaan ko lang yan. Okay, source of income. Saan ba galing? From business ba yan? From profession? Or both? E de AX mo lang yung kung saan applicable sa iyo. Business income lang ka lang o profession. O kung halimbawa, professional lang tayo. Kasi yung assumption natin dito, professional fee eh. O edi, income from profession ka lang. Okay, income is subject to. Ano ba yung pinili mo? Graduated tax rate ba? 8% ka ba? Pabayaan mo na tong special or exempt from income tax kung BMBE. Piliin mo yan, BMB ka. So, kung pinili mo graduated, X mo yan. Okay? Kung ito naman, legal basis of relief, halimbawa, BMBE, edi ilagay mo, BMBE law. Okay? Kasi kailangan mong specify. Edi ikaw naman, kung hindi naman applicable sa iyo yan, lagay mo not applicable. Okay? Investment Promotion Agency, government agency, not applicable kung sakasakali. O registered activity or program, not applicable sa mga incentive po yan sa mga i-invest. No? Effectivity rate, not applicable, not applicable. Method of deduction, ano ka bang pinili? Itemize ba? O hindi piliin mo doon, itemize tayo kasi nga, itemize tayo dito sa assumption natin. So, itemize tayo. Alphanumeric tax code, saan ko makikita yan? See table 1, no? E di hanapin mo yung table 1. Ayun, table 1, alphanumeric tax code, nasa second page ito sa bandang baba. Tignan mo, 1101, business income ka lang ba? Nag-graduated, 8% ka ba? Professional income ka ba nag-graduated? Or IT, mixed income, compensation ka ba? Dito tayo, kasi profession yung assumption natin, no? Professional graduated tax. So, II 014. So, isulat mo lang dyan. I, ba tayo masulat? Okay. Ba tayo masulat? Basta isulat nyo na lang po dyan. II 014. Ayaw masulat eh. Okay. Kaya, basta ayaw masulat. No. Anyway. So, ayan po. Now, punta na tayo sa part 2. Sa bandang baba ito, nung ginawa mo. Okay, tignan mo. Do not enter centavos. Okay, 49 centavos or less, pababa. Round to 0 tayo. 50 or more, round up natin, paakyat. Okay? So, ikaw yung dito, kung ano ka lang, kung single ka lang. Tsaka dito yung spouse mo. So, tignan nyo po, income tax due. May computation dyan. Galing ito, sabi, from part 4. Okay, kung hindi applicable, pabayaan mo lang. Income tax due regular rate, galing sa part 4. Total income tax due, sum of 21 and 22. Ito yung 21 and 22. Di ba? Less total tax credits, galing daw sa part 5, item 10. Para makompute yung taxable income, ileless mo lang. Okay, kung nag-installment ka, ilagay dyan. Pero kung ako, I will not encourage you to do installment payments. Bakit? Kasi minsan, pag nakalimutan na bayaran yung second installment, delinquent na yan. Okay, so final executory. So which means anytime the BIR can garnish your bank deposit, masakit yan. Okay, tapos total amount payable. O may mga penalties ba yan kung sakasakali? Siyempre, wala pa dahil maaga tayo nagpa-file. Then we can compute the payable. Ayun, sum of items 27 and 28D, aggregate amount, etc. etc. Ngayon, babalikan natin to. Tingnan natin kung ano. Skip muna natin to. Okay? Dito tayo. Computation of tax. Ay, susulat mo pala yung tin mo rito. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 0, 0. Isulat mo dyan. De La Cruz. Susulat mo lang yan. Kama. Okay. 1. G. O, di tapos. O, tapos taxable income. Compensation. Meron ka bang compensation? Kung wala, i-zero mo lang yan. Ganyan mo lang. Di ba? O, business income tayo. Pinili natin graduate graduated income tax tayo. Graduated income tax tayo. So, ito yun. Okay, magkano yung sales revenue natin kanina? Ito. Ang sales natin, 600,000. Oh, di ba? Ayan ang total sales natin. 600,000 tayo. So, isulat mo lang dyan, 600,000. Meron ka bang returns, allowances, and discounts? 0. So, ang net niyan, 600,000. Nakalagay naman dyan, no? Item 5. Ayun ang 5. Less item 6. Ayun ang 6. Ima-minus mo lang. So, 600,000. Tapos, ang sabi rito, less cost of sale of service. O, meron ba tayo dito? Wala. O, edi, 0 mo lang yan. 0. Tapos, number 9, gross income. Item 7 and 8, i-minus mo lang daw yan. 600,000 pa rin tayo. Okay, so ngayon, less deductions allowable under existing law. Ayun yung ordinary. Wala nang breakdown ngayon. Unlike yung kung gagamitin mo 1701, merong breakdown yon. Okay, so ordinary deductions. Magkanong ano natin, assumption natin, yung expenses natin kalahati. So 300,000. So isulat mo lang diyan 300,000. Meron ka ba nitong special allowable? 0. Meron ka bang net operating loss? Lugi ka ba ng nakaraang taon? Kung hindi naman, 0. So, i-total mo lang daw yan. I-total. O, sum. Di 10A to C. Yan, A, B, and C. Total lang natin, 300,000. Basic lang po ito. Wag lang kayong matatakot. O, nag-OSD ba tayo? Hindi yan yung ginamit natin. Kaya skip mo lang yan. Okay, o number 12, net income. If itemize tayo, item 9. Asan yung 9? Ito yan. 'Di ba? If less item D. So, ito yan, item 9 at saka yung item D. Magkano yan? 300,000. So, ilagay mo lang dyan, 300,000. Okay, o 'di ba? So, ngayon, meron ka bang other non-operating income na gustong i-declare? Eh, di kung wala, 0. Tapos, sum, yung 12 and 13, i-add mo lang daw yung dalawa na yan. Eh, di 300,000. Di po ba napakadali lang? Oh, tapos, ayun, taxable compensation. Galing ito sa 3. Ito yan, kung halimbawa, may empleyado ka, employer ka, itagdag mo lang. Eh, di kung wala, 14 ka lang. Eh, di 300,000 to. Okay? Oh, gagamitin mo ba yung number 6? Tignan mo, for special, preferential tax or exemption. Hindi naman ikaw yan dyan eh. O, hindi pabayaan mo. Kapag hindi applicable sa'yo, just leave it. Okay, tax due, special, preferential. Wala. Hindi tayo preferential. Oh, tax due, compensation and business income under special. Eh, di wag mong pansinin. Tax due compensation and business income under graduated tax rate. O, di gagamitin natin yung graduated tax rate, 300,000. Yan tayo, 18 ano tayo, 18B. O, 300,000. O, ito yung tax table. Kung 300,000 tayo, 300,000, ayun, ang ating bracket. Yung 250,000, ang tax niyan 0. Ayun o, 0. Plus 50,000 times 15%. Ayun yung 15%, yung excess 50,000. So magkano yan? 50,000 times 0.15, 7.5. So 7.5 ang ating tax. So 7.5 yan. So, i-total mo yan, 7.5. Okay? So, ngayon, ano yung tax natin dito? 7.5. So, isulat mo dyan, 7,500. Easy. Okay? So, ganyan lang po yan. So, ngayon, yung kasunod. Oh, anong meron dito? Ginamit ba natin ng 8%? Hindi. O, edi, wag mong susulatan yan. O, di ba? O, dito tayo. Part 4 tayo. Part 4. Tax credits. Kailangan nating mag-attach ng proof. Nung nakaraang taon, yung 2024 ITR, tignan mo nga, baka mamaya meron kang overpayment. Kung meron kang overpayment, ilagay mo dyan. Kung magkano yung overpayment mo, tax credit mo ngayon yan, pambawas siya sa buwis mo ngayon. Nagbayad ka ba nung 3 quarters. Tignan natin yung assumption natin dito. Wala tayong binayaran nung first 3 quarters. E di anong lalagay mo dito? 0. Assuming wala tayong prior year success credit, 0 mo lang din yan. Creditable tax withheld for the first 3 quarters. Magkano nga yung kinaltas sa atin ng ating kliyente? Every quarter, 15,000. Dalawang quarter, 30. So, tatlong quarter, 45,000 ang kinaltas sa atin. O, edi isulat mo dyan, 45,000 ang kinaltas sa atin. Tapos, yung pang fourth quarter na kinaltas sa atin, magkano? 15,000. Isulat mo lang dyan. Kung empleyado ka, yung Form 2316 na binigay ng employer mo, tax credit mo yan, lagay mo din dyan. Ngayon, kung nag-file ka ng return, unang-una, may mali, nag-amend ka, meron kang binayaran doon, ilagay mo din dyan. Okay, meron kang mabuwis na binayaran sa ibang bansa. Wala naman. O, di zero. Okay, zero mo lang yung mga wala. Special tax credit. Example yan, meron ka bang personal equity retirement account na inopen na nag-entitle ka sa 5% tax credit? Kung wala naman, i-zero mo lang yan. O, tapos, other tax credit, zero. O di ngayon, anong sabi rito? Number 10, total tax credits, i-add mo raw yung 1 to 9. Ayan ang 1 to 9. So, magkano lahat yan? 60,000. Tapos, okay, tax relief with special, not applicable yan. Di tapos na tayo. Ano na, dalawang page lang to eh. Okay, dito tayo. Income tax due, special preferential. Huwag mo sulatan. Hindi tayo yan. Less share, wala kang ililes. Pabayaan mo. Net tax due, national government, special. Pabayaan mo yan. Dito tayo. Income tax due, regular rate. Magkano nga yung kinompute natin kanina? Ang kinompute natin, 7.5. Ayun, 7.5. Pag nalito ka, huwag ka mag-alala. Part 4. Hanapin mo yung part 4. Asan yung part 4 dito? Ayun ang part 4. Tapos, anong sabi? Part 4, item 18B or 25. 18B. Eto yan, 18B. Ayan yan. Nilagay natin 18B, 7.5. Di ngayon, sure ball na tayo. Isulat mo dyan, 7,500. Okay? Total tax due, isa mo lang yung add mo lang daw yung 21, 22, add mo lang yan. Pag in-add mo yan, edi 7.5 pa rin yan. Tapos less total tax credit, part 5, item 10. Hanapin mo yung part 5. Ayun, item 10. Ayun ang item 10. Ayun, So, magkano yan? 60,000. Di isulat mo dyan. Less 60,000 daw. 60,000. Ngayon, item 23, less 24. I-minus daw yan. Anong meron? Ito, 52,500. So, ngayon, tignan mo, naka-open and close parenthesis kapag overpayment. So, lalagyan mo ng ganyan. Okay? So, dito, meron bang installment? 0. So, amount payable, overpayment, i-minus mo lang daw yan. Gaganyan mo, open and close para makita ng BIR na overpayment ka. Huwag mong kakalimutan yung open-close na parenthesis ha. It indicates that you have overpayment. So, wala ka namang surcharge, wala ka namang interest, wala kang compromise penalty, wala kang total penalty. So, i-total mo lang yan, 52,500. Overpayment tayo. Tapos, ilagay mo ulit dyan, 52,500 total. Tapos, ngayon, dito sa overpayment mo na yan, anong gusto mong gawin? Okay, mark up to 2 boxes. Okay, which shall be equivalent to. Anong gusto mong gawin? I-refund mo ba yan? Gusto mo bang i-apply ng TCC? Kapag pinili mo ang refund or TCC, ma-audit ka ni BIR. Ayaw mong ma-audit, ito yung ekisan mo. Okay? So, ayan ang ilalagay natin. So, magkano yung carry over? 52,500. Di ilagay mo. Pagkatapos, I agree. Kesan mo yan. Pirmahan mo yan. Kung anong pangalan mo, ilagay mo rito yung TIN mo. Number of attachments, wala naman. 00. Okay? So, kung wala kang babayaran, ipareceive mo lang to kay BIR. Ganun lang po kasimple. Kahit saang RDO. Bakit? File anywhere tayo eh. Okay? So basically, this is our return using the itemized graduated tax. O di ba napaka-basic? O dito naman po tayo. Paano kung ang pinili natin ay OSD? Natural graduated tax yan. So look at our assumptions, no? 50,000 pa rin monthly ang binabayad sa atin. Yung ating kliyente, kinakaltasan tayo ng 10%. Eh di kung 5% lang yan, yun ang ilagay mo rito. Okay? Since ikaw ay walang invoice, una pa lang, pinili mo na sa first quarter mo OSD. Paano nga kino-compute yung OSD? O sige, tignan natin yung kunwari first quarter. So 150,000 quarterly tayo. Okay, total annual 600. Siyempre, ang OSD is 40% of gross sales. So kung magkano man yung kung magkano man ang 40% diyan, i-claim mo lang. So 60,000 yan. Okay? So 90,000 doon, add prior quarter 90, ang tax due niyan 0 kasi hindi lampas ng 250,000. Pero since kinaltasan tayo ng 10% sa lahat ng binayad sa atin, meron tayong tax credit. So overpayment tayo sa first quarter. Ganon din sa second quarter, no? May 150 times 40%, 90,000, yung 90,000 prior period, prior quarter, cumulative yan, 180, hindi lampas ng 250,000, kaya 0. Pero tandaan mo, yung total na first quarter and second quarter, kinakaltasan tayo ng 10%. Kaya 30,000 na yung total niyan. So, ang overpayment natin sa second quarter would be 30,000. Sa third quarter, pirmis 15,000, 40% yan, 60,000. Ang ating taxable income for the quarter is 90,000. Pero yung ating quarterly, no, na 90, ayun, total 180. Ano natin yan? Iipunin natin. Cumulative. So, 270. Aba, lumampas tayo ng 250,000. 'Di ba? Yung 270,000, okay, 250 exempt to, exempt 0. Yung excess na 20,000 times 15% yan. Saan ko nakuha yan? Nandito yan. Ayun. Dito. 15% yan. Okay? So, yung 15% na yan, mga kapatid, okay, yan yung 3,000. 20,000 times 15%, 3,000 yan. So, ang total tax due is 3,000. Kaya ko siya nakuha. Now, ang total na natin in a quarter is for the 3 quarters is 450,000 times 10% kasi every quarter, every bayad sa atin may kaltas. So, ngayon, meron tayong overpayment na 42,000. Okay? Iyan lang ang nangyari sa first 3 quarters. Pero, syempre, dito tayo sa annual. Anong meron sa annual? So, kung 50,000 tayo mula January, no? Or kahit hindi January, i-total mo lang yan. 600,000 ang total. Siyempre, OSD tayo, kaya wala tayong cost. Bawal yan. Kasi ang OSD is 40% of the gross sales. So, 240,000 yan. Ang taxable income natin na tinatawag, 360,000. Kung 360,000 yan, gamitin natin ang tax table. O, dito tayo. 360,000 isulat ko. Ang bracket natin, dito tayo. Ang bracket natin is, ayan, dito pa rin. Kasi hindi lumampas ng 400,000 eh. So, yung 250,000, ang tax niyan is 0. Tapos, i-minus mo lang yan, 110,000 tayo. Times 15%. 15%. So, ilan to? 110,000 times 0.15. So, 16,500 yan. So, i-total natin, ang tax due natin, annual, 16,500. Tignan nga natin. Ayun, 16,500. Now, doon sa total na binayad sa atin, laging may kaltas. Kaya meron tayong tax credit. So, ang overpayment na natin, computation would be 43,500. Okay, ngayon, paano natin ililipat ito sa ating ITR using 1701 MS? O, tingnan natin. Katulad nung kanina, huwag kang matatakot. Anong sabi? Capital letter, black Inclang X ang gagawin. So, for the year 12/20/25, amended return, kung first time natin magpa-file, no. Short period ba to? Kung January tayo nagsimula, no. Pero kung later tayo nagsimula, yes ang sagot mo dyan. Civil status, o sige, married naman tayo ngayon, married. O isulat mo dyan, married. Filing jointly, kung ayaw mo, okay lang, separately, indicate mo lang. Kung yung spouse mo daw wala, ay di lagay mo lang dyan, not applicable. Okay? So, yung tin mo, isulat lang natin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. RDO code, o anong RDO ka ba ngayon? RDO 47 ka ba, Makati? Or RDO 49, ilagay mo dyan. O, last name, first name, at saka middle name, no? De La Cruz. O, De La Cruz tayo. De La Cruz. De La Cruz. Okay, 1. Tapos middle name pala, ilalagay natin, middle name, kung ano man yung, Cruz na lang yung middle name dyan. Email address, isulat mo lang kung anong email mo dyan, Vic Gudani or whatever, kung anong at gmail.com. Isulat mo lang, huwag kang matatakot. Contact number, ilagay mo dyan yung cellphone number mo. 0917-123-4567. Di po ba? Source of income, profession tayo. Profession. Income subject to. Anong assumption natin ngayon? OSD tayo. Ede graduated tax ka. Okay, legal basis, not applicable, not applicable. O kita mo, bumibilis na tayo ngayon. Effectivity date, not applicable. Method of deduction, OSD tayo. Alphanumeric tayo, yung dito sa huli. Ano nga yung, natin? Ano nga yung ATC natin? Income, profession, graduated, 8%. So, II 017. O di ngayon, isulat natin. II 017. Easy. Sorry, dito dapat nakasulat yan. Ayun. Teka. Purahin ko muna. Baka magkamali kayo. Okay. Wala, ayaw na mga bura. Wala, nabura yung mga pinagsusulat ko. II 017. Tapos, isusulat mo kung ano yon. Income profession. Income from profession, 8%. Income from profession. Okay, 8% tayo. Sulat mo lang lahat yan. Very simple lang po ito. Okay? And then, income tax due, part 2 tayo. Wag mo munang sagutan to. Bakit? Kasi dito tayo. Ano nga yung assumption natin? OSD tayo. Kung OSD tayo, wag mo sasagutan to. Bakit? Sasagutan pala natin. Sorry, nandito pala tayo. Ayun, OSD pala. Okay, compensation. Kung wala ka, 0-0 mo lang yan. Sales revenue natin, magkano? 600,000 tayo. 600. Meron ba tayong returns? Wala. 600. I-minus mo na lahat yan. Tapos, meron ba tayong cost? Aba, wala kang cost kapag nag-OSD ka. So, 600,000 tayo. Tapos, hindi tayo itemized. Hindi tayo to, hindi tayo to, hindi tayo to, hindi tayo yan. OSD tayo, 40% of item 7. I-multiply mo, asan yung item 7? Ayun, 40% yan. Magkano? 240,000 yan. Ngayon, net income. Sabi dyan, item 9 less item 11. Ito yung 11. Ayun ang item 9. Di magkano yan? 360,000. 360,000. Tapos, add other income. Wala. Edi 360,000 lang. Di ba? Total taxable income, 360. Kung wala ka namang compensation. Yung preferential, pabayaan mo yan. Yung special preferential, pabayaan mo. So, special preferential, pabayaan mo. O di ngayon, gamitin natin ang graduated tax table. Kinompute na natin kanina, 16,500. Okay? Ayun ang binura ko, nabura na. So, 16,500. 16,500. Okay? So, dito tayo. Prior year success credit, yung last year, tignan mo kung meron kang overpayment. Wala tayong binayaran. Hindi, meron tayong binayaran ng ano. Wala tayong binayaran sa 3/4. Pero kinaltasan tayo ng 45,000 ng ating kliyente sa first 3/4. Ayun, yung total ng first 3/4. Ayan, yung total ng first 3/4. Yung fourth quarter, kinaltasan din tayo ng 10%. Okay, so 150 ang quarter times 10%. So, ayan, wala naman tayong employment, di naman tayo nagamit ng return, wala tayong foreign tax credit, etc., etc. So, ang total tax credit natin, 60,000. O di ngayon, balik tayo rito. Income tax due special, wag mong pansinin. Less share of other agency, wag mong pansinin. Net income special preferential, wag mong pansinin. Income tax due regular rate, yung kinompute natin kanina, ayun, 16,500. Ang sabi, galing ito sa Part 4, Item 18B. 18B, ayan yung 18B, di ba? So, 16,500 yan. Isulat mo lang dyan. 16,500. Okay? Tapos, sum daw ng 21, 22. Ayan, anong sum yan? Kung sum yan, dagdag, i-total mo lang. 0 yung isa eh. 0 to eh. 0 to. Edi 16,500. Total tax credit galing ng Part 5, Item 10. Hanapin mo yung Part 5. Ayun ang Part 5, Item 10. Ayun. So, magkano nakalagay dyan? 60,000. So, isulat mo rito, 60,000. Di ba? 60,000. So, anong meron dito? Anong sabi dyan? Item 23 less 24. Ima-minus lang daw yan. Ito, 34,500. Okay? Anong gagawin natin kapag sumobra ang tax credit? Open and close. So, wala naman tayo niyan. Open and close, 34,500. Huwag niyong kakalimutan yung open and close, ha? 34,500 open close, 34,500 open and close. Bakit? Baka bigla kang masulatan ni BIR, nalimutan mo, akala niya payable yan. Okay, anong gagawin? Kapag refund at saka TCC, ma-audit ka. So, X tayo dito, pinakamaganda, 34,500. Huwag kang mag-alala, kapag overpayment, carry over yan sa susunod na taon, tax credit mo siya. Siya yung magiging ganito. Ayun siya yung magiging ganyan. Prior years excess credit. Diyan mo siya ilalagay sa susunod na taon. Itong 34,500. Okay? Diyan mo siya ilalagay next year. Okay? Ayan. Tapos pirmahan mo na lang. Kung lagay mo pangalan dyan, Juan de la Cruz. Juan de la Cruz. Tapos pirmahan mo lang. Tapos yung TIN. Number of attachment, 0. Tapos na po ang problema natin. File natin manual. Kung wala tayong babayaran, ha? Ngayon, kung meron tayong babayaran, you can bring your income tax return this to any authorized agent bank. Pwede rin tayong magbayad online. Pero kung marami namang bangko malapit-lapit sa'yo, lakarin mo na lang. Wala namang problema yan dyan eh. Kasi anywhere naman tayo. Okay? File anywhere po tayo. Basta authorized agent bank ang pagbabayaran mo. Okay? Ilagay mo lang yung tax credit. Yung mga attachment. Ano yung attachment mo dito? Ito. Kailangan yung proof na kinaltasan ka, yung Form 2307. Ayan Ito, yung kinaltas sa'yo, hingin mo sa kliyente mo. Boss, baka naman bigyan mo ko ng 2307. I-attach ko yan sa annual ITR ko. Yan ang sabihin mo sa kanya. Kasi attachment talaga yan. Okay? Kung ikaw ay merong overpayment, attachment din yung ITR mo. Kung ikaw ay merong employment, yung kinaltas ng employer mo, i-attach mo rin dyan. Ganyan lang po kasimple ito. Okay? So ngayon, dito naman tayo sa pinakahuli. Papaano kung 8% ang ating pinili? Okay, anong meron? 50,000 every month ang ating bayad mula sa ating kliyente. Walang employer-employee relationship. Ang ating employer or kliyente, kinakaltasan tayo ng 10%. Kung 5% yan, walang problema. Kung ano lang yung kinaltas, yun lang yung tax credit mo. Walang problema. Okay? So, ngayon, anong gagawin? So, compute natin. Dito na po tayo sa annual, diretso na natin, no? Diretso na natin. Okay? Wala naman tayong payment sa quarter eh. So, 600,000 tayo. Wala tayong cost kasi nag 8%. 600,000. 600,000. Wala tayong expenses ha. Kasi 8% tayo. Less 250,000. Less yan. Ito yung binibigay ng batas sa atin pag nag 8% tayo kasi hindi na natin gagamitin ang graduated tax table. So, ang taxable income natin ay yun, 450,000. So, kapag na-compute mo na yung taxable income, gamitin natin ang tax table. Sorry, 8% nga pala tayo. I-multiply mo lang ng 8% yan. So, 450,000. 450,000 times 8%, 36,000 ang ating income tax due. Tandaan mo, doon sa binayad sa atin ng employer, lagi tayong kinakaltasan. So, ang total na kinaltas niya at dapat, again, binigyan tayo ng Form 2307 ha, 60,000. So, pag binawas natin ang 36,000 tax due, yung sa tax credit natin ng 60,000, meron na namang overpayment, 24,000. So, kung overpayment tayo, okay, again, merong option yan. Okay, but anyway, tignan natin ito. Ano nga ang gagawin natin sa 1701 MS? Ay, napaka-basic nito. Okay? Again, capital letter, black ink, X ang ilalagay. So, for the year daw, edi 12/2025. Huwag kang matatakot. Amended return, kung first time mong mag-file, no. Kung natapos mo yung taon mula January hanggang December 31, no yan. Kung nagsimula ka ng July, short period return, yes ka. Civil status, married ka ulit kung gusto mo. Tapos, filing jointly naman kayo. Dito tayo, sa hindi tayo mahihirapan. Separately na lang. Okay, isulat mo yung TIN 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. RDO code, saan ka ngayon? RDO 49 ulit kasi Makati ka. Last name muna, De La Cruz. Isulat lang natin ng ganyan ng maayos ha. 1. Tapos Cruz na lang yung middle name niya. Email address, Juan De La Cruz. Juan De La Cruz. At gmail.com. Tapos, contact number 0917-51-14325. Di ba? Source ng income, profession tayo. Income is subject to 8% ang assumption natin ngayon. So, NA yan, not applicable. Yung mga not applicable, not applicable mo. Di ba? Method of deduction, wala yan. Wag mong papansinin kasi walang deduction kapag nag-OSD tayo o ATC. Si Table 1, puntahan natin yung ATC. Ano tayo? Profession tayo na nag 8%. Ayun. Income from profession, 8% IT rate. Ay, dapat yata kanina sa OSD. 00114 tayo sa OSD. Okay, 00114 po tayo rito. Kasi OSD tayo. OSD tayo kanina, OSD. Sorry, hindi po tayo kanina. Hindi tayo 8%. OSD. Okay. So, balik tayo rito. Ano ngayon? 017. So, I017. So, income from profession, 8% IT. Okay. Income, profession, 8% income tax. Di ba? Kanina OSD ha. So again, ganyan lang kasimple. Nandito na tayo sa part 2. Sa mga tax due, wag mo munang pansinin, dito muna tayo sa pangalawa. Okay, nakita nyo yung kanina, ginamit natin 'to kapag may compensation, ayun. Dito ginamit natin 'to kapag graduated tax, ginamit natin 'to kapag OSD. So ngayon 8% tayo, ayun B2, B2. Oh, 8%. Magkano nga yung sales natin kanina? Oh, balikan mo. 600,000, 50,000 per month tayo. Okay, so 600,000 tayo. 600,000. Hmm. Oh, tapos other non-operating income, meron ka bang gustong i-declare? Oh, ilagay mo lang diyan kung meron kang gustong i-declare. Kung wala ka namang i-declare talaga, walang magagawa. 600,000 total income, sum ang nakalagay. Less allowable reduction from gross and other non-operating income in the amount of 250. O edi kung applicable lang to ha, kung wala kang employment. So 250,000. So ito 350,000 tayo. I-multiply mo lang ng 8% yan. 350, 350 times 8%, 28,000. 36,000. 450. Namali na ako ng ano rito. 600 minus 250. Wala, 350 nga. Times 8%. 28,000. So, 28,000 tayo dito. Okay, yung kanina, 28,000 lang pala. 28,000. Sorry. Okay. Dapat 350 lang to. Ayan, 28,000. Okay. Minus 60,000. 32,000 to. 32,000. Okay, sorry. Oh, so ayan ha. Oh, dito tayo. Ang total tax due natin 28,000. Yun. So, meron ba tayong prior year nung nakaraan sumobra? Wala. May binayaran ba tayo ng first 3 quarters? Wala. Meron ba tayong kinaltas ng employer natin? Sorry, hindi employer, yung kliyente natin? Yes. 45,000 ang kinaltas niya sa 3 quarter. Sa 4th quarter, ang kinaltas niya 15,000. Okay, wala naman tayong employment, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So, ang total niyan 60,000. Okay, so ngayon, balik na tayo rito. Dito tayo, income tax due, regular rate, or item 25. Hanapin mo yung item 25. Ayun ang item 25. Ayun, 28,000. So, yung item 25 pala, yan yung sa OSD. So, magkano yung kanina? 28,000. So, isulat lang natin, 28,000 tayo dito. 28,000. Okay, so ang total niyan 28,000 lang din kasi 000 tayo dito. 0. Basta 0 lahat 'yan, ayaw sumulat. Okay, so less total tax credits. Yung kinaltas sa atin kanina, tignan mo. Ayun, 60,000 'yan. Item number 10. Dito tayo. 60,000. I-minus natin 60,000. So, magkano yan? 32,000 ang ating overpayment. Huwag mong kakalimutan yan. Ang open-close parenthesis. Dahil nga, it represents that there's an overpayment. Okay? Para makita kagad na may utang sa'yo ang BIR. Ikaw ang sumobra ka ng bayad. Okay? Kung i-refund or TCC, mag-o-audit tayo. Kaya pinakamaganda kung tatanungin nyo ako, carry over na lang tayo. Ngayon, pag kinary over natin ngayong 2025 yan, yung 2026 mo, dito mo siya ilalagay. Huwag mong kakalimutan. Kaya nga sabi ko sa inyo kanina, tignan mo yung last year kung meron kang overpayment, i-claim natin ang tax credit. Okay? So, anong meron dito? Agree. X lang yan. Tapos, lagay mo dyan, 1 de la Cruz. 1 de la Cruz. Okay, yung tin niya, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number of attachment 0. Tapos na. Kung wala ka namang babayaran, ipa-receive mo lang to sa BIR. Kung may babayaran ka, sa bangko yung punta natin. Okay? Any RDO po tayo ngayon. Anywhere po tayo. Okay? So, ganyan lang kasimple ang pagpa-file using BIR Form 1701MS. Dalawang page lang po ito. Ngayon, kung medyo nahihirapan ka, you can still use BIR Form 1701 or 1701A using EBIR forms. Ganun lang po kasimple yan. Okay? So, ito yung katanungan, sir. Nag-manual po kami ng 1701MS. Is the taxpayer required to refile the return? Kung sakasakali, no? Either or once the EBI form is available. Halimbawa, ang ginamit mo 1701 or 1701A yung electronic. Tapos naging available na sa portal yung 1701MS. Okay? Ngayon, are you required to refile? The answer is no. Clarify na po ng BIR yan sa RMC na nakalagay sa atin ngayon. Okay, ano yung mga attachments nga? So tayo applicable sa atin ito kung ano tayo ha. Kung nag-online submission tayo, meron tayong matatanggap sa email natin tax return receipt confirmation. Okay? Kung meron tayong binayaran, syempre meron tayong proof of payment dapat. Kung more than 3 million tayo, meron tayong CPA accreditation dapat, yung FS natin. Okay? So, kung meron tayong tax credit, yung kinaltas ng ating kliyente, i-attach natin yan. Kung meron tayong employment, yung 2316, i-attach din natin yan. Okay, so basically, yan lang naman po yung mga related sa atin. Now, key points, brothers and sisters, I hope you use the correct return. So, 1,700 is for purely employee po ito. 1701 sa mixed income earner to. Sa 1701A, ito ay sa nag-OSD or 8%. Pero pwede natin gamitin ang 1701 MS for this. Okay? Review the entries, huwag kayong matatakot. Okay? File the return on time. Ang deadline natin is April 15 ang ating deadline. Kailan yung April 15? Miyerkules. Most likely, there will be no extension. Okay? Do not forget the attachments also. So, basically, that's how we file the returns. No? Now, in the RMC 2020-2026, this one is about the guidelines in filing 2025 ITR, no? Key points lang po, no? Kapag EFPS filer ka or user, use EFPS. Okay? Tayo naman, EBIR Forms Package, okay? Kapag EFPS filer ka, you can use EBIR Forms Package only kapag ang enrollment is still in the process o kaya unavailable yung system, etc. You have to pay the tax sa mga ito, sa yung authorized agent bank. Okay? Sa mga EBIR forms filers naman, okay, gagamitin ito through the offline EBIR forms package. Ito po yung binanggit ko sa inyo kanina na ida-download natin using going to www.bir.gov.ph. Tapos punta ka sa e-services, tapos hanapin mo yung EBIR forms package. I-download mo yan. So, ayan yun. Okay? Ang filing natin kapag EBIR forms ka, no payment return. Halimbawa, ito yung mga final natin, ang tawag po dyan, no payment return kasi overpayment tayo eh. So, pwede lang natin isubmit online yan. Okay? Tapos, meron kang matatanggap na email, yun na yung proof of filing mo. Okay? Tapos, kung ikaw ay gumagamit ng tax software providers, makikita mo yung listahan ng mga tax software provider na pwede mong gamitin in the filing. Ito, magandang balita. Kapag po kayo ay pupunta sa BIR, meron silang tinatawag na e-lounge facility wherein yung mga computers doon pinapagamit nila sa mga taxpayers. Now, let's look at who can use the e-lounge facility. May be used by the following. Sino? Mga senior at saka mga PWD. Pwede pala yon. Pwede tayong gumawa ng return natin sa BIR mismo. At magpatulong tayo doon sa mga officer of the day. Kung tayo ay empleyado with multiple employer or single employer, tapos gusto nating mag-file ng return, pwede rin sa BIR. Okay, kung tayo ay qualified for substituted filing pero gusto mong mag-file ng ITR kasi for purposes of promotion yan o kaya ikaw ay para makapangutang or for purposes of scholarship of your children o kaya ayun, visa requirements yan, etc. Pwede kang magpunta doon at magpatulong sa mga revenue officers pero you have to bring your supporting documents, yung mga 2307 mo at saka yung 2316 kung sakasakali. Okay, yung mga kinaltas sa atin, yung mga expenses natin. O, ngayon, number 4 naman, without internet facility. Wala kang internet sa bahay, kailangan mo rin ng tulong. O, edi pwede tayo magpunta sa BIR, e-lounge facility, gamitin po natin yan. Pero I would suggest that you go there Monday to Thursday kasi remember, there has been a declaration by the President na 4-day work week lang sila. So, ano rin sila, no? Hindi rin sila kompleto pag Friday. So, ayan. And then, priority should be given to taxpayers filing their own returns versus tax practitioners. O, ikaw dito ka naman yan, filing your own return ka dyan. Kaya pwede tayo magpatulong. Di ba, gamitin mo yung buwis na binabayad mo. Now, we need to submit from the date of electronic filing or deadline, which is April 15. Okay, we have 15 days basically to submit yung mga ITR natin at saka yung attachments using the EIFS system. Da-download lang natin to, tapos merong mga naming conventions lang tayong gagawin, medyo mahaba ng konti yung sistema, ayan. Pero ako sa inyo, manual filing, pwede naman tayo, pa-receive mo sa kanila. May tatak na kagad. Guidelines in the payment of tax, okay, manual payment, kahit saang bangko, basta authorized yan. Kung walang authorized agent bank, pwede naman sa mga RDO. Ang pagbabayad sa mga revenue collection officers, hindi lalampas ng 20,000 pesos. Okay? Ayun ang pangalan, BIR yung lalagay mo. Kapag online naman, pwede natin gamitin itong mga payment gateways. Okay? Tapos, huwag niyong kakalimutan mga kapatid, merong mga taxpayers na hindi naman required mag-file ng return. No? Kapag hindi lampas ng 250,000 ang kanyang compensation, no? Empleyado ka, you're not required to file the return. Kapag ikaw ay substituted filer, ito yung number 2, tama yung kaltas sa'yo, isa lang yung employer mo, okay? Tapos, purely compensation income earner ka, you're not required to file a return. Ito yung sana all, no? Yung income mo. Grabe. Mga subject to final withholding tax, you are also not required. Minimum wage earner, overseas contract worker, you are not required to file a return. Pero, if you want to file, of course, allowed yan. You cannot be precluded. You cannot be prohibited. Okay? Now, substituted filing, no? Yung, kaya siya tinawag na substituted filing, yung BIR Form 2316 is actually in lieu of our BIR Form 1700, the ITR of the employees. So kapag substituted filer tayo, the 2316 again is our as if no our annual ITR already. What are the requirements? Again, you should be an employee only. Compensation income earner ka, there should be only one employer. The employer should have correctly withheld the tax and remitted the tax to the BIR, and you're supposed to be part of the alpha list submitted to the BIR. Okay? So, merong mga hindi qualified sa substituted filing. Kapag multiple employer, disqualified ka. Therefore, ikaw ay required mag-file lang. Required to file. To file. To file. Ayaw magsuot ng file. Basta required to file ITR yan. Kapag ikaw ay okay, employees deriving compensation income, whether it's a single employer, yung tax, sablay yung tax. The tax due is not equal to tax withheld. Mali yung computation ng employer mo, disqualified ka. Okay, kapag ikaw ay empleyado nga lang, pero nagkaroon ka ng other income, non-business, non-professional, disqualified ka na rin. Kapag ikaw ay single employer lang, empleyado ka lang, tama yung kaltas ng employer mo, pero yung asawa mo, Diyos ko, multiple employer siya, okay, mali yung kaltas ng accountant nila, meron siyang other income, kung joint filing, disqualified ka din. Non-resident aliens are required to file under this provision. Okay, so ito mga kapatid, construction worker ito, si Nicanor. Okay, sa umaga construction worker siya, sa gabi security guard siya, parehas siyang minimum wage earner. Tanong, siya ba ay required mag-file ng income tax return? Ang sagot natin lagi, kapag multiple employer required to file a return. Okay? So, ayan ang rule, no? Kapag multiple employer, required to file a return. Kapag husband and wife, general rule, joint filing sila. Exception, pwede namang separate filing kung impractical. Malayo yung asawa, nasa ibang lugar. Pwedeng separate filing yan. Okay? Yung mga PWD, pwedeng magpagawa ng return through their authorized agent or representative. Mga kapatid, once we sign the return, it is actually presumed for as an evidence for all purposes that it was you who signed the return. Okay? Kung wala naman tayong tinatago, wag tayong matakot na pirmahan yan. So basically, that ends our presentation. Okay, so this is my email address just in case you have questions, and you can actually follow me, or yeah, you can just watch the videos, no, if ikaw ay nag-enjoy sa ating discussion, or if there's other things that you want to like uh, learn on the taxation. So I respond to questions. So with that, brothers and sisters, I hope that you learned a thing or two about how to file the tax return, no? For individual taxpayers using 1701 MS. Okay? So, ayun, bye-bye. Magbayad ng buwis ng tama at timely. Okay? Para hindi na po tayo penalty. Okay? So, thank you. Babush!